The heart of the Deus Ex universe is the bonding of machine technology with human flesh, something that's only slightly more complicated than figuring out how the series' timelines and conspiracies all fit together. We'd enjoy hearing your own theories about how Deus Ex's dark future plays out, but for a look at the big picture, here's Deus Ex in 5 minutes. Sort of. The Deus Ex story kicks off in 1995, when scientist Hugh Darrow gets bummed out that he has to walk with a cane after a skiing accident. He knows a little about robotics, so he founded a lab that makes prosthetics that interact with the human body, and they catch on as quickly as Pokemon Go. But of course, there's a catch. The human body tends to reject the machines, and another company called VersaLife invents a pricey drug called neuropozyne that makes living with augmentations bearable. And it also happens to turn its users into addicts that need the drug to live. Back in the 90s, VersaLife also experimented on little kids, including baby Adam Jensen, whose body readily accepts augments and who eventually gets smuggled away to safety by nurse Michelle Walters. But guess who also takes a big interest in Darrow's work?
They've had a finger in every corporation, organization, or government initiative that's defined modern society.
You're talking about the Illuminati?
Confirmed, it's the Illuminati. They've got their hands in almost everything on Earth, but their big interest in Deus Ex is pushing the world toward regulation of augmentations so they can better control them and the tech for their own purposes. To that end, they buddy up with Darrow, they secretly monopolize multiple industries, and they control the flow of information via Picus TV and an anti-augmentation group called Humanity Front. Like any great dystopian cyberpunk story, Deus Ex is rife with shady companies and organizations. There's Seraph Industries, which wants to use augments to steer evolution, but also makes weaponized augments for military cash on the side. There are Bell Tower Associates, badass mercenaries for hire, and Purity First, another radical anti-augmentation group. Of special note here are the Tyrants, an elite group of augmented bell tower killers that run around assassinating people who get too powerful. In 2027, a US Secret Service agent named Anna Kelso learns of them after the Tyrants attack the senator she was protecting, and a bell tower agent named Ben Saxon joins them after his plane gets shot down in the Australian Civil War. Anna and Ben get chummy after discovering Illuminati plots, Saxon defects, and the Tyrants believe they're both dead after an explosion, so they run off to Central America and hide while the world goes to hell. Eventually, they start suffering from neuropozyne withdrawal, resulting in a not-so-great mobile game. That same year, Megan Reed, a scientist at Seraph in Detroit, figured out how to get rid of the need for neuropozyne. She's about to present it publicly, so David Seraph hires Reed's ex-boyfriend as a security chief to fight off attacks from rival companies. It's Adam Jensen, all grown up. Too bad the Tyrants attack almost right away, shooting Jensen in the head with a .357 Magnum, kidnapping several Seraph scientists, and apparently killing Megan. Seraph takes this as his chance to turn Jensen into an ogged-up, brooding Inspector Gadget, and sends him on a mission to learn who's behind the attack and get his scientists back. Jensen never asked for this. After Purity First attacks one of Seraph's facilities, Seraph sends Jensen ever deeper down the rabbit hole, where he learns cool trivia, like how the world's most famous newscaster for Picus TV is actually an AI controlled by the Illuminati. Not long after, though, the Gadgets in Jensen's and other augmented people's bodies start bugging out. Jensen considers getting an upgrade chip that will make it better, but shortly after he learns the Illuminati secretly plans to use the chip to control augmented people if they get out of hand.
A new biochip. A software upgrade that limits what augmentations can do. You're creating a kill switch.
He learns of the Hiron Project, a sketchy Illuminati-controlled hive mind supercomputer. Jensen also learns Dr. Reed is still alive after infiltrating a facility called the Omega Ranch, and she tells him Jensen's DNA is indeed special. Jensen also learns that Darrow and the Illuminati are working together, and watches on TV as Darrow activates a signal, turning everyone who used the upgrade chip into crazy, violent creatures. Jensen chats with Darrow and learns about how he can't actually use augments, and how this makes him sad, and that he wants to get rid of augments altogether. But if players are clever enough to win the debate, Jensen convinces Darrow to let him shut down the signal by shutting down the Hiron Project, and afterwards he chooses one of 4 options that affect humanity's future, which will play out in full in Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Cue time skip. The events of Human Revolution and Mankind Divided take place in the 2020s, but the original Deus Ex takes place in 2052, with a world that's in even worse shape. Augmentation manufacturing has fallen off. Naturally, the Illuminati kept working with the tech in secret, developing nano-augmentation technology which augmented the body without most of the visible and painful but cool-looking appendages of Jensen's era. They also made the Men in Black during this period, none of whom has a cute alien pug sidekick. Around this time, a plague called the Grey Death is sweeping the planets, and only people deemed useful are getting the vaccine from VersaLife. The United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition is made to fight back against the attacks that spread as a result. Their nano-augmented agent JC Denton hunts down terrorists worldwide. But you guessed it, Illuminati confirmed. Or more specifically, the Majestic 12, a splinter group headed by gazillionaire Bob Page, who breaks off from the Illuminati and wants to merge with a powerful AI to become a god. Denton, himself a creation of Page's, realizes the Majestic 12 made the Grey Death and travels to Area 51 to cause the world's existing social structure to collapse. At last, the secret societies lose their grip, but things kinda suck for about 2 decades. By 2072, the time period of Deus Ex Invisible War, some things are getting better, but new factions have arisen and formed city-states, and things quickly go to hell again. Some, like the Illuminati-connected Knights Templar, want to end all biomodifications, while good old JC Denton is still around and wants everyone modified. There's also an amalgamated church called the Order, as well as the Omar, who share a hive mind. Denton's clone Alex runs around chatting with all these factions and decides the future by choosing who gets some data that will allow them to basically rule the world. The end. Kind of. It's all sort of open-ended. Mankind Divided will give us more of the story of Jensen and the Augs back in the 2020s, but we'll have to wait for future Deus Ex stories to find out how humankind is doing at the end of the 21st century. Our guess? Not so great.